Hi, my name is Steve Bowler, and in this video I'm going to be configuring policy-based routing between a couple of routers here using GNS3. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build our topology, which will just take a minute, and then we'll go ahead and set up some policy-based routing here. Policy-based routing is used to manipulate packet flow on the router that is not using like default IP routing, where it looks up in the routing table and everything is based on the destination IP address and what hop or what is the next the next interface to traverse to get to the destination. Policy-based routing is what you can use to manipulate your routing features, such as say you want to traffic sourced from a certain IP address to take a certain route through the network. Well, you can set up policy-based routing to influence and manipulate the traffic flow. You can also set it up. What we're going to do here, we're going to set it up on a per packet length basis. So what I'm going to do here is set up our topology where we have router 1 and router 4 on the other side. And what I'm going to do is set this up to where we have a serial connection from router 1 to router 3 and from router 3 to router 4. And what I'm going to do here on the other side, from router 1 to router 2, and then from router 2 to router 4, I'm going to have fast Ethernet connection. So what we're going to do here using policy-based routing, we'll say here from from our serial interfaces, say this is a 512 K connection, and then on this side here, this is also 512K, and say here we have on our fast Ethernet we have 100 meg. What we're going to do is we're going to be using RIP version 2 as the routing protocol. So for RIP, we have 2 hops. RIP uses hop count as the metric to find the best path through the network. So from router 1 and router 4, you have 2 hops. You have router 3, and you have the router 4. Also, you have the same amount of hops from router 1 to router 4 through router 2. You have 2 hops there too. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell router 1 we're going to influence the routing based on we're going to use policy-based routing based on the packet length. We're going to send it over the different links. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to be configuring the routers real fast and bring these up, and then we'll get into some policy-based routing. Okay, so what you can see here, I have router 1. I'm going to create a loopback on router 1 for 172.16.1.0. That's going to be our source customer network. The destination is going to be on the other side here, which is router 4 is loopback 0 of 172.16.100.0. Also, you can see here I have my connections between router 1 and router 3 in the 13 network, Router 3 to router 4 is in the 34 network. Router 2 to router 4 is in the 24 network, and then router 1 and router 2 is in the 12 network. So let's go ahead now, let's get to the command line and do some configuring. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up router 1. Alright, let's create the loopback. First, IP address 172.16.1.1. Give it a /24. Then we'll go to serial 10 with the IP address 192.168. Let's see, the serial was to router 3, which is 13.1. 255, 255, 252. Then interface FA00, I'm going to give that the IP of 192.168.12.1. Do a no shut on these interfaces. Then we'll do router rip. We'll be running version 2, no auto summary. We're going to be doing it for network 172.16.1.0, network 192.168.13.0, and also 12.0. Those are all our directly connected interfaces. I'm going to advertise all those in the RIP. So you have a simple RIP configuration here. I guess we need to go back into GNS3. Router 1 will give the .1s. So that means router 3 here is going to be 2. Router 2 here is going to be 2. And then on the other side here, we'll just make it easy. Router 3 is going to be the 1. Router 2 is going to be the 1. And router 4 is going to be 2. And router 4 is also going to be 2 here. Alright, so that should be it. Go back here, let's go into router 2.